The playoffs were just announced. It's playoff Sunday. This is the House of Orange coming at you. We were holding out hope. Tennessee Vols holding out hope today that they would fall. Worst case in that 8 range, preferably higher. It did not go according to plan, though. College football playoff rankings are out, and Tennessee, they pretty much stayed true in Tennessee's case to how they were last week. Tennessee will travel to Ohio State round 1 of the playoffs. There were scenarios out there where I think it made sense for Tennessee to host. And Tennessee has a better resume than Penn State. I think you could stack them up against Texas. Of course, they're not going to drop Texas after Texas losing in overtime yesterday. But Penn State lost to Ohio State earlier in the year. Tennessee has a better resume than Penn State, yet Penn State is ahead of both Ohio State and Tennessee in this one. So it is what it is. I don't think anybody's surprised by it. Nobody's shocked. Tennessee is on the road in Columbus. I'm not sure if they've announced if it'll be the 20th or 21st yet. They had just finished the bracket when I come up to record this video and go on about it. But I thought it was pretty interesting where Kirk Herbstreit said on there, if you're Ohio State, it may have been better off if you would have hit the road because the fans were upset after the Michigan loss. And he said, you get one of these, get to third down, you don't get it, you go to punt, the crowd's going to be unhappy with Ryan Day. So maybe this plays out for Tennessee. It'll be a tough environment. There's no doubt about it. It sucks to me you reward a team at the end who lost by double digits at home in their last game of the season with a home game. That blows my mind that you're actually rewarding that. But the Big Ten bias is real in this one. Oregon, of course, is the rightful number 1. Penn State, Ohio State, Indiana, they are all in on it. I don't have a problem that Alabama didn't make it. I'm glad they didn't make it. I think the whole process sucks. I still don't think you put the best 12 teams into this. I don't like the conference automatics. I don't like the fact that Boise State and Arizona State, who were 9 and 12, are getting a bye. I don't like the fact that Clemson earned their way in. They're still not even ranked in the top 12 theoretically of it, but they won the conference with it. My thing was I thought the goal list was it was the top 12 teams gets in. Danny White come out earlier in the week and said, I'd like to see a computer system that's a little more, basically the way I read it, a little more unbiased, and that he would like to see it more like the BCS. He said, we had it figured out with the BCS. The only problem was it was 2 teams then. Now it's 12. So I don't like having – this would have been the same case if one of the SEC ADs would have been the committee chair. I don't like it. I don't like it at all that it's from your competing conferences that they have people on the committee. I don't like it when they've done it in basketball every year. I don't like it that they're doing it in football now. We've got to get something more neutral because I still don't know. I maintain that Alabama, either Alabama or Ole Miss, was your SEC team. I think South Carolina is one of the best 12, but here's something that can be true.
I'm not quite sure how to help you with that.
And nobody can argue that. Alexa's over here talking to me right now, but nobody can argue that South Carolina lost to Alabama and Ole Miss. That put them out of the discussion. End the discussion right there. I'm sorry, it is what it is. You have to factor in head-to-head. All right. That's why I don't like Penn State being ahead of Ohio State. And the bottom line to me is get rid of these conference championships. Just get rid of them. Carson Beck, broken arm last night I think we've seen, done for the year. That's a game that really shouldn't have had to have been played. Of course, that would have given Texas automatic bye on it. But still yet, let's get with the times. We don't need it. We just don't need it. But, it's the NCAA. It's never going to be right. It's never going to be. Somebody's in this scenario, somebody's always going to get the raw deal. I don't know how you go into the end of it and really make it fair on it. And I'm not, I mean, the SMU thing was kind of, their strength of schedule was horrible. Yet they get, I don't know. I'm happy it worked out that it put Alabama out, though. I'm not going to lie. And South Carolina and Ole Miss. I'm glad it put all three of them out. I'm not going to lie about it. I'm not an SEC homer. As a Tennessee fan, I can't stand Bama. Obviously, as a Tennessee fan, I can't stand Lane Kiffin. And as somebody who lives in South Carolina, I can't stand South Carolina. So I'm going to be a little biased in that regard, too. Vols at Ohio State. Again, we'll find out if it's going to be on Friday night the 20th, or will it be on Saturday the 21st. It is Saturday 21st. All right, so I just looked that up on here. It says Tennessee will play at Ohio State in the first round on Saturday, December 21st. It says kickoff and TV will be announced shortly, so we should hear that sometime within the next couple hours, I would think. Probably not long after the show goes off here in a little bit. But we'll cover this thing up to it. We'll be live tomorrow night, 8 o'clock, to talk about it. We'll run our Monday live shows until Tennessee's done. We'll wrap it up, and then that's probably I think I'm looking at probably the end of the Monday night show moving forward, especially getting into baseball, basketball pretty heavily here, and then we'll see where things go as we go forward, as we may take a more national approach as we get into this thing as well. Lots of ideas on the horizon as we finish this out, but it's going to be, that weekend's going to be amazing. That December 20th, 21st, I cannot wait. As you've got Texas and Clemson, you're going to have let me think off the top of my head here, because I was just looking at it here a little bit ago. You got Indiana against Notre Dame, SMU against Penn State, and, of course, Tennessee against Ohio State. That's some pretty interesting games there as well. If Tennessee does beat Ohio State, they will play Oregon in the second round. That's how they're paired at that point. And then they would be paired with, if it's set up right, it should be in that 4-5 category. So they would get potentially either Arizona State, Texas, or Clemson if Tennessee were to win 2 games. And then, of course, the good thing with me, the only team that I did not want to see in the first round, the only team that really I did not want to see in the first round was Georgia. They're on the opposite side of the bracket. And just because Georgia has Tennessee's number, did not want any part of it. I'm not going to lie about it. But we got a long way to go before we may possibly see Georgia. Thank you guys for tuning in. Thank you for being with me this week. We had a good week on here with stuff. Just bear with me as we move forward. It's a pretty hectic time right now for old Frank, but just bear with me as we're going to keep on rocking and rolling. Hate I missed the Lady Vols last night out of town. Didn't have access, but big win for them. They should be ranked Monday. I'll probably do some content later. You guys have a good rest of your Sunday. This is Frank. This is the House of Orange. Last but most certainly not least, it's still a great day to wear the orange.